Hello, this is Kinninigan from RagingReptilian.com. I'm going to live stream this, so if you're here in the chat, welcome. I'm back to giving lectures. I figured the perfect way to start me getting... Yeah, there's been people making comments. So what? I bought myself a new computer workstation. Someone had mentioned it's a toy to me. I wouldn't actually call that a toy because it's an essential part of what I do for a living. Just like if you're a pizza delivery guy, you're going to need a car, right? Same thing. Whatever. I can't satisfy everyone, but often I will say this: my work is plagiarized a lot. Even when I first started researching reptilians, which is why I pulled this anomaly up. I had made a video about this on my other channel. I might have the video here. Marina Delfino also made a video about this. Me and him were going back a few years. If I made a reptilian anomaly video, there was three people that were pretty much on top of it. It was me, Marina Delfino, and Chris Archer. And I've been able to locate Chris Archer online recently. I found his new channel, Chief Stronghold. But we used to make a lot of these anomaly videos, and when the first time I ever made this, I scored it to music. So, is this a reptilian shapeshifter? Well, sorry about the coughing there. I have bad allergies, and yeah, I can't get a doctor's appointment right now to get allergy meds, whatever. I don't have the flu. It's allergies. Um, no, this is not actually a reptilian shapeshifter, but it is a side effect of the reptilians. And what I mean by that, this is anomalies that are caused by, of all things, we call them the archons. The archons, going from a Christian pantheon, would be the demons you make deals with in black magic. Now, the archons that I am talking about are specifically alien greys. And I learned about archons. I'll put all these links in the description. This is from Jay Wildner. Now, recently, Jay Wildner's kind of gone off on a tangent. He's associated with some people I'm not too confident about. But years ago, he was on point. This was a interview that he did with Jeff Rentz years ago. There's been a lot of people, but he did have excellent information on the idea of archons. Small alien grays. The term selling your soul to Satan is selling your soul to Sirius, or where these archons come from. Now, it gets even more interesting because, all right, we're going to get things out of the way. I'm going to show you a reptilian, okay? Sound isn't recording on this. All right, I'm going to show you a real reptilian first, an alpha draconian shapeshift, and then we're going to take a look at this footage from, I believe that was Syria. No, she's from Syria, doesn't matter. But what we notice with a lot of these anomalies is there's two types of things that will happen in the Archon anomalies, which is the liquid crystal polarization, which is the zebra effect, the black and white stripes, or we get something which I'm about to show you with this woman over here that happens with the eyes. Remember, eyes are a gateway to the soul. They're the first things that usually start shifting on people. How can black magic or the practice of black magic affect camera magnetics? Well, I've done lectures on that, but let me show you something here. This is a real reptilian. Yeah, that's right. The sound is going to, all right, right there. That is one of the most infamous shapeshifts I have. Let me slow that down for you. Now, unlike other anomaly videos where we actually see zebra effects, you're going to see the full manifestation of an entity right there. Two eyeballs. And what was amazing about this shapeshift, this is one of the first ones I ever did on my channel. This is the one that made me famous when I first started learning how to make videos, is you'll notice one thing. You could see right behind his head to the wall behind him. How does that happen in a three-dimensional object? Because the hologram is failing. And when the hologram fails for that split second, you can literally see through his head. Nothing else changes in the video. This is one of the few full manifestations of an Alpha Draconian. Very interesting backstory with Yusuf Estes also. This is nothing against Muslims, but Yusuf Estes was an Islamic missionary who used to do a lot of his missionary work in the U.S. prison system. I'll take that for what it is. What is a prison? Well, if you're gonna harvest negative energy, which is what reptilians and archons feed on, a prison is going to be the best place to do it. Because not only do you have criminals in there who are some probably demonically possessed psychopaths, but you also have prison guards in there who are just as bad as the criminals, beating up criminals all the time, smuggling drugs in the prison, the warden. So basically, you have a whole entire prison that is just a harvesting ground of negative archonic energy. I don't think anyone's going to deny that. So, a lot of people think, well, what would strategic places that these reptilian shapeshifters will put themselves into? Well, don't roll out religious missionary, because missionaries are actually one of the ways that Rome spread their power throughout the planet with Catholicism of all things. So I don't find it very hard to believe that an Islamic missionary such as Yusuf Estes, he also worked with the United Nations also, take that for what it is. But these are the movers and shakers in society where they're going to embed themselves. And this was talked about in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth in Atlantis. Less likely that they're going to be doing pop music videos or starring, in Hollywood movies. But we do get Archon anomalies with these people. Don't rule that out either, because I'm going to show you an Archon anomaly. Then I'm going to show you some of the actual occultic science behind this, backed up by a 33-degree Freemason, because my sources are always good. So that is a real Alpha Draconian reptilian. But for the sake of, I'm still going to put reptilian in this video title. I think I'll probably call it, let's talk about Reptilian Archon Anomalies. So yeah. Now I also have a video on my channel of a native terran shapeshifting, but they don't shapeshift the way Alpha Draconians do. They use something called visual mimicry, where they can make themselves appear human, but if you try to photograph them, they actually appear reptilian. The native terran reptilians on this planet do not look like the Alpha Draconians. I am going to be making a separate video on the native terrans. And not only am I going to show you some native terrans using visual mimicry, we're going to talk about the Lacerda files. And of all things, I am going to show you authentic reptilian statues sitting in a temple in Japan. And they look exactly like the reptilians that Lacerda, the native terrans, talk about. The Japanese people know about them. There's been a few civilizations actually that know about these native terran reptilians, and supposedly they are hostile with the Alpha Draconians, but they are not the. These are the ones that look like the Skeksis. This is where we get the eagle symbol from Rome, and that is a fully manifested shapeshift right there. Now I want you to watch. I'm going to play this video. There's going to be no sound over it, and I just want you to watch this anomaly, and then I'm going to explain to you exactly what is happening here. Is she just talking? I don't think there's music playing over this. No, she's not covering up for COVID. This is something different. All right, did you see that? Now, I'm going to pull this back a second here. You're going to see the shifting starts before she actually takes the bandana off. Now, somebody who is actually here in real life, physically looking at her, would not see this anomaly. And these are only captured on video. We have so much proof of this. I've recently re-uploaded a liquid crystal polarization video, for example, on the Bengals. And they are sitting in the news studio shifting for minutes, and they never cut the video. Now, sometimes we do catch news anchors catch it in the monitors, and they will cut the video from that news anchor and come back. So what you're actually seeing here, this is not a reptilian. This is something attributed to the occult and black magic. What does that mean? Is she an occultist? Is she a practicing witch? Well, I don't know. She could be. You can't judge a book by its cover. Okay, just because you see a pretty girl, don't think that she's not involved in some nefarious things. It's not very easy to. I mean, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, yeah, pretty easy to pick out as witches. Okay, that's not very hard, but there are a lot more. So, the other possibility I leave open also is this person possibly not an occultist that got demonic or archonic energy attached to them from being around? That's, I don't know. It's could be a possibility. Who don't we see these anomalies on? I have never found any of these anomalies except from the special case of Yusuf Estes, who was an Islamic missionary. Now, don't get me wrong, there are secret societies within the Vatican itself, and so, but we tend to see these. You don't find them that much, like on Christians. People preaching about Jesus. I've never seen these anomalies when people are invoking the name of Jesus. I'm just saying. I've had hundreds of hours of Skype conversations with people I know that were not practicing occultists, and I've had Skype conversations with people I know that are occultists. And guess what? Sometimes on Skype, these anomalies would happen. The most infamous example I have of this on my channel, and his channel was just deleted off YouTube, is David Icke. The infamous shifting that I had, and that was sent to a very good friend of mine, Louis, if you're listening. He sent me that Icke clip. So, and for years people have been debating. It's one of my most watched videos on my channel. In fact, I think it. Now, so why did that happen to, of all people? Why does anomalies like this happen to somebody like David Icke? Here it goes, 154,000 views. And this was re-uploaded. I originally made that channel on my original Kinninigan channel, and it had hundreds of thousands of views, and David Icke never addressed it. And so how did that happen? Well, there's theories floating around that David Icke is a practicing or occultist, Mason. Yeah, I know that I've gotten some tips over the years from a few of my subs that are across the pond in England, and they say he lives on the Isle of Man over there, and it's a very Masonic part of England. No surprise. It's called controlled opposition, people. Get your head out of your ass. Why do you think some of the biggest conspiracy theorists with these hundreds of thousands of subs on YouTube are the biggest shills? They hate people like me. The reason why I'm so hated in the community, is that what you want to call it, the community? Because I usually ride alone. That's why I symbolize with the lion, because no one wants to play with Kinninigan, but they will plagiarize my research all day, especially when it comes to the Anunnaki, reptilians, the occult, liquid crystal polarization. I know my stuff. And we've made a pretty strong case for this over the year that so a lot of these anomalies, strangely, they're not all the same. They're not all equal. So what is happening here to this girl? And you'll notice the shifting happens. Now, usually we have a lot of the left eye anomalies. Here's one thing I want you to take into consideration, though. This could be reversed video. If this was taken with a cell phone, sometimes the videos are reversed. I'm not saying that's the case. These anomalies could happen on either eye. The left eye bruising is something, that's actually something physical that you see in real life when people have the bruised left eye. That's a totally different subject. This is occultic energy causing stuff within the actual camera. And we've had a lot of examples of this. Now, the other type of pattern that happens with this, here was a quote I put it. This is my theory on liquid crystal polarization. I was one of the first people to try to attempt to crack this mystery, and I made a theory about it. And it's all, I'll put this link in the description also. This video is kind of short. It was 15 minutes. But I'm going to be doing another liquid crystal polarization lecture on these anomalies. And I show how this happens with actual science in here. and magnetics. But the infamous Bible quote, and whereas you saw iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. Daniel 2:4-3, talking about the serpent seeds. And there are Bible quotes where it's specifically told that you should not engage in witchcraft or magic. So we have the zebra anomalies are the striped ones here. Let me turn that volume down. Sorry about that. And we have, look, this is like ones here with Nigel Cole, where he's on My Fox Philadelphia talking to the camera, and then he notices it and then kind of wipes it away. You can't see this enough, and he's outside, which even makes this one even more. I mean, how are you outside? And you see how he clears this anomaly up with his hands? We see that with a lot of them. The theory is, now, why would Nigel Cole be doing this? Well, he's a Hollywood producer. Hello, Hollywood. I don't think I have to go there with as far as Luciferian occultists and black magic. Come on, it's the breeding ground of Lucifer. So yeah, that's not hard to believe. But what's amazing about these zebra anomalies is we have them going all the way back. For example, in this video, the one of Bob Marley from the 70s. So this cannot be attributed to quote-unquote digital artifacts. I've heard it. No. This is more tied into the black and white Masonic lore in Masonic temples. And it ties in with all things. Here, let me show you an Archon. This is an Archon. That is Lamb from Aleister Crowley. He's the 71st demon in the Lesser Key of Solomon. Another thing that I figured out from research that, yeah, because his number is 71. And he talks about walking with a book. And he is the one who dictated the book of the law to Aleister Crowley. He is the 71st demon in the Lesser Key of Solomon. There are 72 of them. So Lam, L-A-M, would be one of the syllables of the 72-syllable lost word of God from the Freemason. So there's the Freemason believe that there's a 72-syllable word of God where you can invoke God, if you want to call him. Yeah. What God are they invoking? Come on. And if the syllables are spoken in unison, but supposedly they're looking for this lost word. I think that lost word ties in with the 72 demons from the Lesser Key of Solomon, because it's no coincidence. That's one of the main reasons why 72 is so revered in the occult. So he is Lamb. He's the one who dictated the book of the law, do as thy will, to Aleister Crowley. And it is all these people who follow Crowley's sex magic, the Church of Satan, the Masons, and witches, and other people practicing the occult that we see these magnetic anomalies popping up on, because their archonic energy is affecting the magnetics in the cameras. Another thing I'm going to mention here, animals can sense this energy. Dogs and cats, especially dogs. I had a pet dog before. My dog would just growl at some people on the street for no reason. And other people, he'd be, sticking his tongue out and letting them pet him. And barking at other people. Dogs can sense this on people. They sense bad, negative energy on people. Going back to like what I was saying about with prisons, there's a lot of negative energy harvesting in these prisons, which is why it's prime breeding ground. I guarantee you, if we were to go through a prison with a video camera and film prisoners all day, we would see some of these anomalies popping up, without a doubt. So, to end the video, where does this come from? Well, if you want to listen to this lecture, he's not the funnest person to listen to, but this is 33-degree Freemason Manly Palmer Hall. The Occult Anatomy of Magnetic Fields of the Human Body and Their Functions. Yes, the human body is run on magnetics and electromagnetic frequency. The occult is run through magnetic frequency. The term, going back to the Lesser Key of Solomon, where in the Book of the Law, where Crowley isn't talking, where Aleister Crowley is talking about imposing your quote-unquote will upon nature for a desired effect, He is talking about the movement of magnetic and electromagnetic energy in the occult, and that's how you interact with these archons. They're based on electric, and this is what causes the anomalies in cameras for practicing occultists. Now, why would you never see these anomalies? You know, I've been on video a lot, and you have never seen. I've had a YouTuber out there try to say I had slit eyes on video. We called him out for being. He was full of shit. He was trolling my channel and me. Okay, because one, if you think of Reptilian Shapeshifter from the Alpha Draconian star system is running the YouTube channel, well, I don't know what to tell you. Secondly, I'm even defending like David Icke in that instance where I said he's not an actual reptilian. He is an occultist. He's a practicing pagan. Okay, and that's what causes these anomalies on video. So the occult is ruled on magnetics. Every organ in your body runs on electromagnetic field over electromagnetic creatures. And going back to a subject, I had to delete all those videos off YouTube because apparently it's against community guidelines. But that is the number 5 and the letter G. Right. We know that it is having negative effects on the human body. Just to give you an idea there. And that's a really good example. There's some even more sinister theories tying in with that, which is why I want to do a Patreon-only lecture and kind of talk without censoring myself. And it ties in with all things of CERN, transhumanism, and the bringing over of these archonic entities from another dimension into our physical dimension. And they're making a environment more conducive of doing this. Now, not all people that have archon anomalies are occultists, because now I rarely make videos about children, but like take for example the rise in ADHD in children and autism, and giving kids Adderall. This is done with certain foods that they give children, and it's methamphetamines invoke archon possession. So does heroin, and we're giving our kids amphetamines to deal with ADHD. Well, what's causing the ADHD? It's mostly attributed to smartphones, Wi-Fi. High fructose corn syrup is one of them that's theorized to actually do it also, which is why they replaced sugar in all kids' food with high fructose corn syrup. Yeah, there's we're being bombarded by a lot of angles. Then to top that off, they pump fluoride in our water to keep us dumbed down. Actually, the fluoride, they say it's for your teeth, but the fluoride, you know what it actually does for you? It's one of the main ingredients in the antidepressant Prozac, which has fluoxetine in it. That's fluoride. It makes you docile like a zombie. This is what keeps the people from revolting. If we didn't have fluoride in our water right now with everything that's going on, yeah, and people are still losing it. And that is attributed to all things, and this is some of the stuff that I learned from Jay Weidner about the Archons. So this, I'll leave this link in the description also. This is the actual interview he did with Jeff Rense years ago, where he talks about some of this stuff. And the idea is it's an attack. I guess, yeah. There's even a John Lash has an interview here. He's another good researcher when it comes to archons and Gnosticism. So there's some videos here if you want to watch them. So basically, this is a spiritual war if you're not understanding what I'm saying. When I was talking, and I'll be dead serious about that, when people invoking the name of Jesus don't get these kind of anomalies on them, why you will never see me on video with these anomalies? Well, a few reasons why. I don't practice the occult. I'm not a Freemason. I'm not a black magician. And I have organite all around me, which actually gets rid of demonic energy. And if I had demons around me, I would know, because one of the best creatures to actually find demonic energy are cats, of all things. Cats are very occultic creatures. And Macy and Zoe pretty much let me know that my house is Archon free, because I'd know. But figured I'd get back to this, and I think there's a few things here that are definitely need some upgraded lectures, especially the one on liquid crystal polarization. And I'd like to probably merge the Archon Anomalies and the liquid crystal polarization all into one lecture, and I'll back that with science and show you some excellent examples of it. This shapeshift here, hey, if you're a content creator, you know, I'll support you. You know, and you're looking for some good Archon Anomaly Reptilian Shapeshift footage, I'll put this link in the description also. This video's been on YouTube since 2011. Wow, that's around the time I first started becoming a reptilian researcher. So yeah, this is an old clip. But I'll put this link. I'm surprised this is actually still on YouTube. I don't know if the one I made is still on YouTube though. It might be. I lost a lot of videos, but so what you're seeing here, and I want you to notice one thing, especially looking at the trees behind her. The only distortion is going on around her face. There is no distortion on the trees. It starts in the eye, and we've seen this with a lot of anomalies. Eyes are a gateway to the soul. Some people that are Archon possessed, and it's been proven too, can get slit eyes in your pupil. Or some people get eyes that go all black during black magic rituals. Then there becomes an even more disturbing conspiracy, which I don't think I've ever made a video on it. But there's been quite a lot of talk about them, which are the black-eyed children. If anyone's ever heard of them, these children that have full black eyes. Yeah, it's a very interesting thing here. So, as you notice, nothing else around her is breaking up. It cannot be attributed to motion either, because the leaves on the tree behind her are moving. So if you cannot attribute it, oh, well, she's the only thing moving on video, so that's fine. No, the tree behind her is moving. Why isn't the tree shape shifting? Look at the tree behind her. There's no distortion. It's only on her eye. And like I said, if you were to see her in real life, you would not even notice this anomaly. You wouldn't notice it until you actually went back and watched the camera footage. And we have dozens of examples of news reporters doing this live on TV. So anyway, that's going to be kind of all for the video here. Let me see. Yeah, we'll make that a thumbnail. That's a good thumbnail, huh? And I'll put all these links in the description. I'm definitely going to do an updated lecture on the archons, because this ties into of all things the black and white Masonic checkered floors. There's a reason why they have black and white floors in Masonic lodges with pentagrams drawn on top of them. Also, this is required for the invocation into archonic and getting into the other dimensions, and it's tied into, of all things, electromagnetics. I don't know how this actually works with the black and white. I'm thinking that because there's got to be some type of energy associated to colors. Now, I'm going to tell you a little secret about black and white, and going back to these zebra anomalies also. 1996, I went to the Art Institute of Philadelphia. I'm a trained artist. I was an art major in high school. The color white, going all the way up to the color black, and every shade of gray in between. Now, there's more than 50 shades of gray too. They are not technically colors. Okay? Black and white is either, in the art world, it's the absence or presence of light. Black and white is what you use to shade colors to render them three-dimensional. So I think you get the idea if you're an artist, how black and white works when you're applying it to doing art. Well, black and white technically are not colors by definition. The real colors of nature appear in all things a rainbow when you see it in the light spectrum. So for years, let me just give you an idea of social engineering of Masonic deception. White people are not actually white. Black people are not actually black. We're Caucasian. We're like shades of tan and brown, right? Why do we not call humans either tan or brown? Why is it got to be black, or I'm white, you're black, when we're not actually black? And technically, unless you're albino, I'm not white. Yeah, this is more of the like kind of social engineering and word magic that goes right in front of your face. And what's funny is if you even go on a government forum and they say skin color, well, black and white are not colors. Okay, this is kind of the backwards ass social engineering they've been doing over the years with you. It's just to divide people, divide and conquer. And this ties right in with the Masons of all things, going into their black and white Masonic floors. Yeah, we're actually tan and brown. I guess it's not fun to, so you want to confuse people. Start calling people their real skin color. Hey, yeah, I'm looking for this brown guy or tan guy, whatever. But a lot of that's just going back to the zebra anomalies here and occultists. There's no coincidence with this. We have dozens of examples. This was a little science experiment that I did with the CRT monitor to show people if I put what I did, I took a CRT monitor, which I don't even have CRT monitors anymore. I had to find one. But you could do this if you have an old school TV. You can't do it on the new modern flat screens or the new modern monitors. But what this experiment showed you is if I was using my screencast recorder, recording my desktop, and I took a magnet to my CRT monitor, and I took this picture with a camera that wasn't screen, and I put a magnet next to my CRT monitor, and it changed the color on the monitor. Not only did it change the color, it changed the monitor to the opposite color in there's a color wheel in nature. For example, like every color has a color that goes with it. You have primary and secondary colors and all that. I think you get the idea. And whenever you do this with a magnet on a CRT monitor, whatever color is on the screen will change to the opposite color of the light spectrum from the magnet. However, if you were recording this with the desktop recorder, you would not see that. Your screen would still appear as if it's not being affected by the magnet, because obviously it's just an output display on your monitor. But this is the same exact principle that happens with these Archon anomalies with cameras. And this is what we see on a lot of these anomalies. And that was a pretty neat little experiment. I'm going to see if I can track down a CRT monitor and redo that experiment for people in that lecture. I think I have one lying around. Interesting stuff though, huh? And so I figured with all the crazy news going on, if you're here in the chat, thanks for showing up. If anyone's able to help me out with donations or sign up to Patreon, all the links will be in the description. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button. I should start telling people that more. Huh? Share, like, and subscribe. And if there's any one of these areas that you would like to see me talk more detail, and leave a comment for me. I am going to redo the whole entire liquid crystal polarization, Archon anomalies, how magnetics affect cameras, and how it's tied in with the occult, because there's some real science behind this. Don't brush these anomalies off. It's just there's too many of them. If there was only one or two videos floating around on YouTube of someone getting these strange anomalies, no, we have dozens and dozens of these anomalies. Marina Delfino, he's a big YouTube channel. Me, between the two of us, we probably have thousands of these anomalies that we've shown you. And each one's different in their own strange way. I even have a theory that some of the anomalies that we found with some newscasters on TV might not even be human at all. And what I mean by that? Organic robotoids and synthetics, which basically don't have a human soul. This is the transhumanism aspect that I was talking about. which is another lecture all in itself. Yes, the merging of man and machine and the killing of the human soul. And when you start looking at this thing in a bigger perspective of what they're trying to do with children and making an environment conducive for the Antichrist. Hey, we got people talking right now that, you know, I showed you that new HR bill that they just passed, HR bill 6666 for the testing. And then your vaccines, getting the mark of the beast. Yeah, there's something more sinister going on here. We've also seen a rise of these anomalies in the past few years. And we definitely know that there are a lot of people falling out of, I would say grace would be a good word, which is why they shut all the churches down recently, because they don't want people gathering and spreading the gospel of Jesus now. And like I said, you'll rarely ever find anomalies like this happening on someone preaching about Jesus, just saying. Oh, and to even back that one up, you are not allowed to mention the word Jesus in a Masonic temple. I wonder why. You know, I wonder how many anomalies I could find if I could crash a Masonic ritual one night and just go in there with a hidden camera and film these guys while they're doing their rituals. I guarantee you, all of them would be shifting on video. You wouldn't actually physically see it, like I said. What you could see, though, when they actually do these rituals, someone said there was a Freemason whistleblower that came forward before, and he had said that he had seen where they were invocating entities in rituals and their eyes went black sometimes. Now, that's been shown in movies. There's a theory, like I said, with the black-eyed kids. There actually might be some truth to that also. Very strange stuff. And it's always the eyes that start to shift. So that's going to be all for this video. I'll put all these links in the description. Any questions or comments, leave them below. Until we speak again, this is Kinninigan, and take care.